Hi guys, this is Holistic Health with Harry. Today we're joined by, across the virtual pond, by Meagan, mystical Meagan. How are you, Meagan?
Good. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm wonderful. I'm excited to be sharing space with you and getting to know you fresh, just like the audience here today. You came on my Instagram recently, and one of the first posts I just told you is um, you were putting your bum up into the sun. And I was like, damn, yeah, she gets it. It's the really powerful healing modality of the sun, and those body parts, they need to be exposed. So we'll get to that, but I want to ask you a kind of a loaded question to begin with. This is an annoying question. How did you get into health? What is your story?
Yeah. So I would say a big part of my health journey, first and foremost, I've been an athlete for basically the entirety of my life. So I knew on some level that being healthy was a very vital part of being a successful athlete. But really, my awakening into health on a deeper level began when I was in college. And I went through a series, I guess, of dark night of the soul moments. I began to just pull all-nighters studying and just eating lots of food that was unhealthy, gained some weight. And then that kind of depression from that combination of things led me to find out about nutrition, holistic nutrition, just treating a lot of issues with the foods that we're putting in our body, the different things we're putting in our body. I think that's what initially sparked my awakening into health. And then from that point, I decided to dive deep and study nutrition. And then I found my sport that I do, not so much anymore, but still do occasionally. I found weightlifting and CrossFit and just opened my eyes to all of these various modalities. And then from there, I decided to go to massage therapy school, and that opened my eyes even more to health and just alternative modalities for bringing healing into the body.
That's amazing. Can I ask, when was this kind of awakening? How long ago was this? You said
Yeah.
you're 28, so just wondering.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So I would say it was around the end of 2012. Definitely was heavily influenced in the year 2013. That was kind of around when all of this was
So the end
occurring.
of the Mayan calendar. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. So you've been at this for 6 years now, and I can tell from the way you're talking, you're a very powerful person, and you've learned a lot in this short space of time. Um, So massage therapy, wow, that's interesting. Did you get qualifications in massage therapy? Was it just something that you just found very powerful?
So what actually ended up happening was I dropped out of college so I could go to massage therapy school. I was just kind of questioning the whole structure around needing to go to school to be successful and those kinds of things. So I went to massage therapy school and became a licensed therapist, and still have my license, but haven't been practicing as much, obviously, just with all of the things that are going down currently, but still do a whole lot of energy work and things with my hands. And that was a big catalyst in my awakening journey was all of the things I was learning and experiencing as I went to massage school and as I began to work one-on-one with clients.
Wow, and you're only 28 as well. So you've had many years now, you're saying, of working in the health industry, a different kind of health industry, I'm sure that people know with them doctors, but true health, I call it. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is really amazing at such a young age to be. I'm 32 and I'm only just starting to make money and really push on the business side of it. So I find it incredible, and I learn so much from young people that are young people that are younger. I call young people that are younger than me that are
Yeah.
really helping people, but also making money, because I feel that's important too. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. Yeah, so massage therapy is definitely very powerful, and that definitely helped with you. But it's a journey, isn't it? There's so many avenues of health that we discover when we go. And like I said earlier, the sunlight one is also absolutely huge, and that's a key one to keep pushing on people. So how did you undo the brainwashing, I guess, that it caused cancer and it's bad for you and stay out of the sun? Like,
Yeah. So I would say probably in the past like 3 years or so, I began to uncover things around, why it's not healthy to be wearing sunglasses. So I stopped wearing sunglasses so my pineal gland could get in the full spectrum of sunlight. As far as other programs around the sun, I stopped wearing chemical sunscreen a few years ago, and now I'm fair skinned, but I don't ever wear sunscreen when I go out in the sun.
mm,
anymore. And then as far as just kind of adding practices around my relationship with the sun, that has kind of taken off in the past year or so, spending a lot more time being nude outside in sunlight. My friend Raw of Earth, he
All right, your friend's
I don't know.
cool.
Yeah, so
Like,
he kind of turned me on to the perineum sunning aspect, but I also heavily study Tantra and Taoism and sacred sexuality, and the perineum is a big part of getting prana and energy into our sex organs. So kind of the two combination of things of seeing what Ra was saying about the sun, and then in my own studies and practices, I decided back in maybe like September, October is when I started consistently doing the perineum sunning every day. And then it took off on the internet back in November of 2019. So as far as like my daily practices, it's new, but I've always had this connection and an innate knowing of the sun is a powerful source of light, and it's important too along our ascension journey because it is giving off these plasmic and cosmic codes from outside of the Earth's atmosphere that are influencing the not only the ascension timeline that we're seeing play out on the Earth, but it's influencing our body's ability to bring in light into our own physical bodies and auras. So that was the connection I made around the sun. And so it's been about a year that I've been consistently practicing some of these things.
wow, that's amazing. And you tapped into something there that I'd like to go a little bit further with. You said, because I'm very scientific, left logical, and I wrote 2 books on sun. One was on sunlight, a bit on sungazing. The other one was focused completely on sungazing. But I came from the angle of the science that we know about it. So in other words, the visible and invisible frequencies of light, the chakra colors, and the infrared. You just said something there that about cosmic influences of the sun. So when you say that, how is the sun giving us these kind of things? Because you know, people that are skeptical and science minded will be like, "Oh, this is all bullshit. This is all woo woo. How do you even know what you're saying?" So
yeah, totally. So I guess the side of me that a lot of people see now is more of the right-brained, like feminine side. But I also have a heavy background in science, like all of my studies of the human body and being an athlete. Like I understand the science very well, but now I'm moving more into combining the science with the intuitive knowing, the feminine side of the brain. But as there is science that's coming out now to prove this, basically what is happening is our sun is giving off mass influx of light. Some people call this solar flares, solar flashes, coronal emissions from our sun. This is actually measurable. You can look into the specific ways they measure this, but that light from the sun is anchoring light in from the grand central sun, which as far as what is the grand central sun, that is Alcyon, the central star around the Pleiades star system. So it's a star beyond our star. And through our star, which is Sol, the sun, these emissions, this light is being emitted into the galaxy or the atmosphere that we are traveling through as our own galaxy travels through space. And this also can be measured in the Earth's frequency, which is known as the Schumann Resonance. And so when these solar flares or solar emissions hit the Earth's magnetosphere, which is essentially the Earth's aura or the plasmic bubble around the Earth, that does cause the Schumann resonance to raise itself. And that there is a way of measuring that. There are some online avenues that you can go to physically see like where the Schumann resonance is at any particular time. But yeah, so as we move through this highly charged space or atmosphere in, as we're moving through space, this high influx of energy is hitting the Earth. It's also coming from the sun, but it's also coming from just the particular bandwidth or location, if you will, where we are in the universe at this particular moment. So
Wow.
yeah, and so that is causes the Earth's frequency to raise in the Schumann resonance, but we are just like the Earth, and we are affected by the Earth and the sun. So it also causes our frequency to raise and causes our bodies to adapt and change.
I like that. That's really powerful what you said. And are you saying as well that all the changes that are going on this year, and it's been going on since 2012 and that stuff, the awakening, that's a lot part of it? Or are you saying a lot of part of that is due to the power of the sun, of that consciousness that are coming down?
Yeah. So there are many factors at play here, but the light that is cast from the sun and just the energy surrounding the Earth is causing things to frequencies to raise, which is allowing our own consciousness to expand and raise. So yes and no, there are many factors at play, but the sun is definitely a key player and key component in the ascension of humanity, the ascension of Earth, and then our own expansion of consciousness individually. So, and a lot of that can't be seen by our eyes, since our eyes can only see a small part on the visible light spectrum. So it's not something we can necessarily perceive with our physical eyes.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, it feels great to be in the sun. Oh, yeah, being naked in the sun and having the sun, the hot sun hit on your skin, I feel like it's one of the best feelings in the world. And I don't think anything can ever replicate that kind of feeling. It's almost like nature's telling us that we need more of it. So it annoys me a
Right.
little bit when I go down the frequency of, hey, people are hiding away, putting clothes on and putting tan products that are going into their skin. And we're all programmed so against it when it's actually the most beautiful thing in the world. Like all nature is, but particularly the sun. And to look at it too, that's another program we have to question. Like, is it really that bad to look at the sun? I mean, it doesn't seem to do me any harm. It seems to make me raise my frequency and my breath slows down. I feel great. So we've got to question these things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to think, like, if the powers that were, if society is casting and projecting this program of demonizing our sun,
Hmm.
then there has to be a reason for that.
Hmm.
And when we unlock our bodies with connection through the sun's power, we are essentially unlocking our own power and our dormant DNA. So it causes our DNA to activate and come online, and then we're able to tap into these superhuman gifts,
Yeah.
powers, abilities, and we're able to remember who we are as human beings, I think. So there's
Yeah.
got to be a reason.
Yeah, I love that. The sun to tap into your superpowers of perception, and it goes a level beyond just curing diseases. It goes, like you said, to raise your vibration to wherever you're at, and it will take you to where you need to go to. What do you do, by the way, when there is no sun? Because you said every day you're putting your bum to the sun, your perineum.
Yeah,
How do you deal with
pretty much every day. So right now I'm in Texas, which it does rain here, but it's also, abundant in sunlight. So, if, for some reason it's rainy or cloudy, then I will still make sure I go outside and walk or do something, even if I'm not able to have direct access to the sun. You still can get the sunlight through clouds, even though it's not quite as powerful. It's still effective to be outside and in the light in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan of cloud gazing since I heard of it. So I
Yeah.
noticed the difference straight away when I look up to the sun, or even kind of like midline instead of down. Like it goes really deep. Meagan, it's like Meagan, if you look down, there's a level of vibration because these are like the most important photoreceptors. Light, the whole body is naked, but this one, if the levels. So if you look down, you're going to get the less. If you look, it goes up in angles. So whichever angle you face to the sky, the more medicine you get. And I really do
Yeah.
feel a massive difference when I look up to the clouds. And people don't understand that yet. I'm really trying to push out in the community cloud gazing because I live in the UK. I have clouds most of the time. I don't
Yeah.
have the sun, so I've got to do what we can. And cloud gazing is very powerful.
Yeah. I wasn't ever like, I guess, consciously aware of cloud gazing. It's just something I would like intuitively do, I guess. Now that you're explaining it, it makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah, so powerful. So let's move a little bit of sun. In terms of water, I believe that you're a huge proponent of Kangen water. Is that correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm drinking it right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, so Kangen or Kangen water, you can pronounce it either way, is basically living structured water, and this machine itself mimics the highest potency and highest frequency of water that's created on Earth. So places like Lourdes, France, Telacote, Mexico, Norandau, Germany, Okinawa, Japan. These are places on the Earth where the Earth will naturally create spring water that has this powerful healing effect. And this water is rich in molecular hydrogen. And so what that means, just to kind of dumb down the science part of it, is that this water is a powerful antioxidant, which is something that can be measured through a meter called an ORP meter, which
Well, I've heard of them. ORP,
yeah, so
yes.
yeah, so that stands for oxidation reduction potential. So we're measuring the water's ability to reduce oxidation in the body, or just, you know, in the water itself. And all of that to say is that when water is exposed to air, it oxidizes. And just like when metal rusts, our bodies, when we are exposed to too much oxygen, we start to develop diseases, we age a lot faster, and that is what causes oxidation. So when you have a powerful antioxidant, it reduces or reverses the effects of oxidation through the negative charge of hydrogen ions, which is what this water is rich and full of. So it's similar to the negative ions that we receive from, say, walking barefoot on the earth, grounding, but this is just in water form. So yeah.
Probably, I feel like the liquid form of, see, I've messed about with other things that have the same hydrogen kind of thing. I think the liquid, for me, the liquid form of negative ions is more powerful than the ground, and I love the grounding.
Yes.
Just feel like the liquid's more, I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you're getting in quite quickly, whereas the ground, I feel like you need to do, I almost feel like, I've not tried Kangen, by the way, I do believe in them, but I reckon to try and put an analogy, I feel like maybe 3 hours of grounding would be the same as like taking a zip of that in terms of how it feels and vibration.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking about the sunlight, and putting our bodies in the sunlight will increase our body's ability to hold more light. This water, or hydrogen rich water, is the fourth phase of water, which is plasma. So, I mean, it is still liquid, but it's plasma, and what the sun emits is plasmic light. So drinking ionized water, or hydrogen rich structured water, allows your body to hold more light. It also causes your body to detox and do all these other things. But just
I like
wanted
that. You got me there with you got me with the sentence that it holds these molecular hydrogen water, Kangen water, allows your body to hold on to more light, because like we're always emitting light, and I feel like the more sick you are, the more light you're actually emitting from your body. Infrared and all these beams of light are going out too quickly, and we want to keep them in. We want to keep the powers of our own body in, and that water is really helping keep it in. I'll give you more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's super grounding too. Like just since I've started drinking it, which I started drinking it back in November, I've noticed I just feel more present in my body and feel more grounded and just connected. So drinking water can be a very powerful tool for grounding, similar to walking barefoot outside.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. So how much Kangen water do you recommend people? So the thing that puts people off is the price of these Kangen water machines. Although I do believe in their power. Like, is that an issue that you've come across a lot with people when you're trying to promote it, and they're saying, "Oh, it costs too much money. What do I do?"
Yeah, totally. And that was actually something that I felt the same way about for a long time, and realized that this was an investment in my health. These machines themselves last upwards of 30 years. So if you do the math, it comes down to like $2 a day for 2 years, you know, for the pricing of one machine. And here in the United States too, this can also be a tax write-off, because this is a certified medical device. It is an opportunity for someone to build a at-home business. So yeah, the price, I definitely felt the same way about the price. And then I started to kind of dig a little deeper and see, how this was an investment in my health. And the machine too, a lot of people aren't aware of this, is that it creates more than just drinking water. So it creates 7 different types of water, and between all the different uses of the water this machine creates, this can replace hundreds of household products, like cleaning products, chemical-based products. So you're not only investing in your health and, you know, reducing your expenses over time, but you're also influencing and impacting the environment. So if you think about how much an average person spends a day or a year on bottled water, which is creating plastic and, you know, all these different things that have ripple effects on the, you know, physical environment around us, and then weighing the cost of that and seeing it as seeing it as an investment rather than an expense. So that definitely can be something that turns people off. But when I saw the value in the water and had my own experience, it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I love that. You took the courage, and yeah, you had to bypass those mindsets of the money thing and then get over that. And once you get past that and get it, of course, they must have been in the back of your mind a little bit of worry, I'm sure, like, oh, I made the right decision. Then you try it and you're like, oh no, I made the right decision. It's all good. I feel great, and this is a life changer, and I'm sure it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's powerful because drinking this water has allowed me to not only hydrate my body, but hydrate my consciousness. So there are physical benefits from drinking the water, but it also goes deeper and can hydrate your consciousness and just unlock different parts of your DNA from getting structured water into your body. You're not only hydrating your body, but you're hydrating your DNA. So
Sure. Yeah, I love it. I mean, I've always been a big fan. I don't promote it on because I know they cause a division within the kind of the practices I do, and I don't want to divide people. But I mean, the Japanese use it, I think, in their hospitals, and it's well known in Japan. And
it was created in Japan.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful product, definitely. And people should take these. People should get out the mindsets, I feel, of. I mean, I'm in the community now that I feel like a lot of people in the community in Facebook with me now are based like myself. I started with free therapies, and I still am, but I'm moving now away from free therapies towards helping all kinds of people. People sometimes, for a start, you can buy health, and this is one thing I've had to learn myself. And we need to move away from people saying, "Oh, it's all free and nature's great," and it is. Me and you know this, but there is ways of upgrading our health now with technologies. Technologies are amazing, not just Kangen. There's so many technologies out there that are going to blow people's minds. And I feel like we've got to move away from, oh, we can buy health for free. You can get to a certain level for free, but we should take this, the way I see it, we should take our level of consciousness to whatever level is possible. And there is no limit to our level. So we should be using technologies to aid us, quality water, quality tech, all these kind of things without losing nature, of course. The nature is always going to be part of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah. So, okay, we covered water and sun. Is there any other powerful therapies that you would like to share with us? Because I know you've got so much information.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work that I do around sexual healing and connecting people back to their sexual energy. And so a powerful therapy for me has been found through a lot of Montauk Chia's work. He talks a lot about different Taoist practices, sexual kung fu, all of this. But one in particular for me has been using a jade egg, which is a crystal egg that women can use to connect back with their womb space, connect back with their sexual energy, heal from different sexual traumas, it helps aid in menstrual cycle issues. And that's something I've tapped into within the past year that I think is really interesting and has brought a lot of help to me. And so just wanted to briefly touch on that. So if people
Oh, thanks for raising that. It's a great one. I just recently, could be synchronicity we're talking here, but I just recently got into Montauk Chia's stuff. I heard of it and I didn't understand it. I was reading Multicosmic Male, I remember 2 summers ago, and I was like, this is good. I'm just never going to understand it. Then I reread it in November, and I was ready for the information. You transform and you're ready for certain levels.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so I'm not just practicing semen retention anymore. Now I'm going to send the seed up. I'm going to manually do the perineum pumps.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Yeah.
And since then, I've gone into Tantra, and the doors have really opened up to me this past year to sacred sex and sexuality and what Montauk Chia is talking about. So yeah, this topic is huge, and I've definitely heard of the jade egg, and I think that's an amazing practice for women that are willing to do it, because it's at the end of the day you're putting something up your anus or bum that's kind of like, I guess a lot of women are culturalized to think that's, I don't know, weird maybe. And it takes a brave soul to even try these things, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's not a whole lot different from a woman putting a say a tampon
Mm.
in their yoni. So it's, yeah, it can definitely be what's the word I'm looking for? Can be intriguing, or yeah, just it's just something new. So people who aren't familiar with something, whenever we learn something new, there can be a little bit of hesitancy or
Yeah.
reluctancy. So,
Mm.
but we all are on our own self-healing journey. So
Mm.
it just comes down to, yeah, having the courage to try something new to connect you back with yourself. So absolutely.
Definitely. Do you help guys as well? Do you know much about the male side? Because obviously I
Yeah,
don't know much about the female side. I have knowledge, but I'm not in
yeah,
the body, so I can't express. So you do know about the guy side. What would you
yeah.
recommend for guys in terms
Uh,
of sacred
yeah, so the main things that I share are around, of course, semen retention and seminal retention for men, just the benefits of that. And then two, really detaching from cultural programs, one of those being the use of pornography has been weaponized against men to harbor and siphon their life force. Women too, to an extent, but men, when they emit their seed and ejaculate, that is, you're losing not only like zinc and all these other minerals and nutrients that are vital to your human body, but it's just like haphazardly leaking and spewing your life force energy, which that energy can be used to create different things in your life, like create the life that you desire. And so those are the main things that I am aware of and just share with men. And
yeah.
I'm working on creating some courses for both men and women
Mm.
around like embodiment practices, things that they can do to
Mm.
raise and cultivate the life force energy and channel it and use it for other than just
Mm.
you know sexual intercourse, that type of thing.
Yeah, you're such a key member. I think anyone that's doing what you're doing and promoting sacred sex and semen retention and for women, all these practices, we're at a key point in time because they're trying to lower our vibration and they've got us on a lot of things, porn, masturbation, ejaculate. I mean, I'll speak for my experience and my opinion that even if you are with a partner, I don't think it's wise to be ejaculating every couple of days. And
Right.
even with a partner, they should be practicing semen retention and just sending the seed up. It doesn't mean you don't have sex.
Yes.
It's a different kind to what we've culturally been brainwashed to do.
Yes.
And even for myself, I've got a lot of work to do that. I just know the logics. I haven't had the experience, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's an exciting journey, and I feel like there's so much to the aspect that Mitochondrion talks about. There's like an infinite level of practice and experience to come for us. There's no limit to how far we can take it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And two, with what's going on right now, just from my own studies and my own observation, people who are disconnected from their sexuality and who even have undealt with sexual trauma, you're easier to control. You're not necessarily in the full embodiment of your power, because when we are in our power, we're not easily manipulated, we're not easily swayed, we know who we are. And
yeah,
a big part of that work comes to healing the shame, the guilt, the trauma that we have been programmed with around our connection to our sexuality.
definitely, Megan. I feel like women go through it a lot worse in some regards in terms of trauma and sexual trauma and relationships with men that damage them. And this carries over, and also they're receivers, aren't they? So they receive that energy from the man, and if the man's got that bad energy, you're going to take it on, and then you've got more work now to take it out because you've just taken in a lot of, especially if you, say, example, a woman had low self-esteem and you slept with a lot of men in your past life or this life, you've got a lot more work than someone that's more pure. Like, it's tough.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely, that's a big part of it, is like being conscious of the power of that energy and who you share it with. And then
Mm.
yeah, just re associating with that energy as sacred and as divine, and
Mm.
that can be used to unlock and access even more power and divinity that is waiting for us to
Mm.
connect with.
Absolutely. I feel like one of my masteries will be having orgasms internally. The first
Yeah.
stage would be just like I can choose where, but I think the level beyond that would be I'd like to have full body orgasms. And it's not even for the sake of pleasure, although don't get me wrong, that's obviously there for a reason to practice it. But it's more like, okay, what can I do with the medicine, sexual energy medicine? Oh, I'm free now because I've just an orgasm all over my body. And then another thing that I learned from the month of Chia is the level beyond that is the beyond the full body orgasms for men and women is the ego dissolution. So your ego just completely disappears, not forever,
Yeah.
for moments at a time, like plant medicine. And like
Yeah.
I see you not as an ego, I see you as a soul. And that's amazing. You
Yeah.
can do that through sex. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And what people, and I think what people don't realize as far as why this has been weaponized and used against us is because that state is our natural state. And so to keep us from that frequency and that state of being that we have always existed as will keep us in these lower emotional states where we are, turning against other human beings, where
Mm,
we are angry and this and that. So yeah,
mm.
it's just about connecting back with that natural state that we all exist in.
Definitely. While you're talking, I was thinking, bit of a sidebar question, maybe a bit of change of conversation a little bit. If you had to I put you on the spot and said, what's the top three things people are doing wrong, any people, that are causing these low vibrations in society? Is it a physical health, emotional health, and go in specifics to the top three reasons why you think that we're stuck, people are stuck now and they need us. Why?
Yeah, so I would probably flip the wording of that. And this was actually a question that somebody asked me on a Q&A that I did recently. And it's what are the three things that are needed for this shift in humanity? And the three things that people may be, quote, doing wrong or not embodying and doing right now are extending, or actually no, the first one was acceptance of yourself, of
Mm,
where you're currently at in life, acceptance of the state of the world, acceptance of what is present in reality, what is present in your reality.
mm,
The second thing is extending radical forgiveness to not only yourself but others. So so the first one was acceptance, radical forgiveness. And then the third one is the embodiment and expression of our authentic self. And those are the three keys, or the three things that I think are most needed at this time. So,
mm.
and I think when we embody or when we practice those three things, then people will avoid or won't keep creating these scenarios and situations where the
Mm.
lower vibrational states are emitted. So
I
that's where,
really like
yeah,
that answer. You've made me think. Could I possibly conclude that those are all linked in with self-love? Like once you
yeah,
learn to self-love yourself, those will all happen kind of naturally from that process, although that's an epic process to
yeah,
take.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does come back to down to the way that we treat ourselves is the way we treat others, the way we
Mm,
project our energy into the world. So
mm.
that does begin with the internal unification with ourself, and that extension of love towards ourself first, because you can't give love if you're not giving it to yourself first. So I would absolutely agree on that.
Definitely. It is part of your story that you didn't love yourself. And because a lot of us in the community have a crazy story of like being broken by the system. I was depressed and hated everybody. And I've done a radical transformation. Now I just like love everybody. And it doesn't come easy. It's taken a long time. So was yours like a self-hate, self-love story? Or
Um, I think mine is like multi-leveled, but I think there's definitely a part of my journey that has been learning how to love and accept myself, learning that to change my story around I am worthy of my own love first, like the whole worthiness. I think the one of the programs or things that humans face is that feeling of unworthiness, and so I would say that definitely has been a pivotal factor on my own journey for sure.
Mm, I like it. And when you said about self-acceptance, self-forgiveness, and all these things, and how would one go about these things? Because we know they take time. Where's the process where you're telling someone that's the opposite of those things? How would they start? Did they go and seek mentors? Did they go and read the books? What would your program recommend? And what would you, in your mind, how would you
Yeah.
start with something like that?
Yeah, so the answer that I would give to this is actually pretty simple. But it's just going to sound so simple and so easy. The first thing, the way to even like initiate change or provide space for you to create a different version of yourself or create a different reality is from the insistence that you don't need to change. So the acceptance of where you are. So not insisting that you or someone else outside of you needs to change is that extension of unconditional love to them. And that actually provides the space for the miracles, for the change to happen by not insisting that you or someone else needs to change. That's what sets up that energy for the miracle, for the transformation, is not insisting you need to change, which comes back to loving yourself where you're at, accepting where you're at, not forcing your way out of whatever is currently arising.
Or I like that answer. So what runs through my mind as well when we're talking is that there's like a paradox. Like if we can, I hear what you're saying, by the way, and it's beautiful, and I 100% agree with you. But like, I think my darker side says, if I completely accepted myself every single moment of my life, then, and was grateful actually, which is a powerful emotion too, for everything around me at all times, then where would my motivation and duality be to improve on myself and to learn and to grow? If I'm just so happy and present to the moment, maybe like Eckhart Tolle, like 24/7, I'm like just walking around present and this is life and I'm accepting of everybody. Where's my motivation then to grow and to learn and to evolve? I don't know. It's just a hypothetical question. Maybe I won't think like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's okay for us to desire for things to be different. But I think what really, to kind of unpack that a little bit deeper, is the fear that we have around maybe our darkness or our shadow or undesirable situations arising, is that there's some built-in meaning that we think it means something about ourselves, who we are on a core, on a soul level. We think it will mean something negative about ourselves. So we think that by doing the shadow work, unpacking the darkness, learning or doing whatever self-development things, we think if we were to look at the fear or to look at the underlying beliefs causing the actions in our life, that we would find something to be true about ourselves that we don't like or don't want to look at. And to kind of make that a little bit more digestible, there's nothing we can find from our past actions, anything that we would deem as wrong or not okay. There's nothing we can find there that's actually true about who we are as immortal, indestructible beings of light, beings of love. That's not to say like these people that are creating negative circumstances or taking wrong actions. At the end of the day, we are souls, pure souls that all come from the same place. We all have a desire to love and to be loved. And so even when we take wrong action, say we do something that hurts another human being, there's still a pure intent on some level, because there's still a pure motivation there, because we were just doing the best that we could in that particular moment. So I know I was kind of talking in circles there, but there's nothing we can find out about ourselves that's actually true. You know, so if someone were to call me a jerk and I were to like look at that and really believe that, you know, I'm a jerk, you know, that's not true of who I am on a soul level. Like even if I were to fall into that belief and like buy into that belief, like that's not true of my core essence, and that's not true of who I am. And so I think a lot of the work is just be willing to look at the meanings that we're giving to these situations, to these things.
Absolutely. Thanks for saying that, Meagan. You explained things so beautifully. You also reminded me when you said that of one methodology that I've used to access these kind of states that you talked about without having to do the hard work. Although I have transformed and done the hard work. One hack that I do promote is plant medicine. And I took last week, I took 9 grams of shrooms, which is nearly over a double dose, in my room by myself in solitude, because setting's important, right? And when I was going through that experience, I reminded me that all those things you said are the deepest truths. Like, we are souls, we are good people. I came out with the experience that relationships are everything in life. There's nothing more important than relationships. I also was laughing uncontrollably at the silliness of life, because I take life personally sometimes too seriously with the business and all I've got to do, when actually life's a cosmic joke and I'm a soul here having fun or trying to have
Yeah.
fun. So I learned all those lessons that you said on a very deep level.
Heroic.
And yeah, I feel like it changed my brain neural pathways. So yes, I didn't remain in that state now, but what happened was it transformed. I've got new neural pathways in my brain now that I'm nurturing, growing thanks to that experience. And it really did help me. And I do recommend people, if they're stuck in a rut of lack of self-love and lack of forgiveness of themselves, go ahead and take some plant medicines and change your life. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely am a big proponent of the plant teachers, the sacred plant medicines. They're very powerful. And yeah, that's amazing. Sounds like you're integrating the lessons you learned like into your being, and that's why those plants can be such beautiful tools, because yeah, it changes our thinking, it changes our perspective on the things that we see in our reality.
It really does. It gives you that bird's eye view, because you get caught up, even for myself and you, sometimes we forget how far we've come. And it's nice to be reminded of all the good things about you. Yes, you'll see your weaknesses you're trying to work on, but actually the good things that we've done and everyone's done in this world is incredible. And to see that is really encouraging. Like it's like the most best friend ever. I really love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I love the sacred plant teachers. They can be so valuable.
Too right. Are there any other techniques and masteries that you want to reveal to us today about health and everything you're up to?
So a big one for me on my journey lately has been Kundalini yoga and like movement and finding ways to anchor in the prana and the cosmic energy from the collective field into my body. And that's why yoga can be such a big tool for people, is because it prepares your body for the awakening. And so a lot of my daily practices lately have been around Kundalini yoga practices and different kriyas. So that's something that I really enjoy having in my life, because it can literally change your state of being, which is just the way that you're feeling in your body. And that's been a huge tool for me.
Yeah, I do actually Iyengar yoga, but I sometimes do the Kundalini yoga, and I find it like one of those things. It doesn't take much time, but it also really does raise my vibration a lot. And I love the things that raise my vibration a lot with as little work as possible. Not that I'm lazy, maybe I am lazy.
Yeah.
Did you learn this by yourself, or did you get teachers?
So actually, the person who turned me on to Kundalini yoga was also Ra. He has a practice called Kriya of the Week that he started about a year ago. And then I do the Kriya of the Week practice, which is just online. One weekly Kriya, you do the same Kriya 7 days in a row. But then I also found a Kundalini teacher from another friend that I like to follow along with her classes that she does.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kundalini yoga is great. Do you have like a morning routine that you do most powerfully? Do you recommend those, or do you recommend people do them anytime daily stuff?
Yeah, you can definitely do a routine any time of day, but having that structure in the morning of a routine that you do is providing the masculine energy of structure for your day. So I think that's why morning routines can be powerful, because it sets you up for the rest of your day. So I definitely would recommend morning routines for people who are looking to create that foundation of structure.
Yeah, I keep mine simple now. I just get out at sunrise. If not, I use the red light machine, but mostly I'm out at sunrise and standing outside with red light therapy and waking me up and using mitochondria. I'm like, feel pretty good. Feels good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Before we go, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to tell us and leave us as a parting gift? Also, your channels as well. What platforms are you on?
Yeah, so you can my most common platform is Instagram. You can find me at Metaphysical Meagan, and I spell my name Meagan. And then I'm also on YouTube at Metaphysical Meagan. I do have Facebook. I'm on Facebook as at Metaphysical Meagan. or Meagan WhitSon. I think I'm about to be at my 5,000 friend limit.
You
So
made it, friend.
if you want to add me on Facebook at Meagan WhitSon, you can. Those are the three main avenues that I share and work on.
And do you sell the Kangen?
Yeah. So I'm a distributor for the Kangen machines. They're also like shower filters, other products we have too, but the most popular ones are the Kangen machines. And yeah, so you can find me on any of my socials too for the Kangen Water. My website too, my personal website is metaphysicalmeagan.com, so you can get in touch with me there as well.
Yeah, I like the way you branded yourself for the same thing. It kind of makes it easier for everybody. I like
it.
Yeah, so that's very good. Thanks for saying that. Is the very last message you'd like to leave people with? Any message of hope in these dark times, or for the light workers? Feel free. Feel free to say.
Yeah, just the way that I always like to end my videos and my things I share online is a invocation that I do, but it's mainly I guess structured around encouraging people to remember their divinity. So I'll leave everybody with this. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you know peace, may you feel loved, and most importantly, may you remember your inherent divinity.
Thank you. That's so true. We always need reminding.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Meagan. You're an amazing human being, and I hope to meet up with you one day when I come to the US. It's going to come in October.
Yeah,
We'll
totally.
See. Yeah, we'll definitely meet up. And Ra too. I can't wait to meet Ra. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In the meantime, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure, everyone. It's Meagan, Mystical Meagan with Harry, FSTL for Harry. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.